There's been another setback for the Crows midfielder Brad Crouch, and it's not great news, Rennie.
Unfortunately not, Treaders. This is a really unfortunate one. He was training this morning, complained of a bit of foot soreness, and it's the same foot he broke in the pre-season. Now, the Crows are hopeful it's not too serious, but it'll have scans tomorrow to assess the exact seriousness of the injury.
And we'll have that information as soon as we get it. Also too, Rennie, what about the teams? Their name? We've got a game tomorrow night, the Crows taking on the Hawks. Yep. Douglas, is he back? Yeah, he is, which is great news. So he comes in for Mitch Grigg, who's unfortunately injured. But the one I want to ask you about, Treaders, is the juicy matchup we saw with Dangerfield and Fife, probably the best we've seen all year. Could we see something similar with a Lewis or a Hodge tomorrow night in Dangerfield? Well, Phil Walsh has been very outspoken about doing that, keeping the fabric of the game going. I'd love to see Lewis versus Dangerfield. That's almost as good as Fife versus Dangerfield.
It would be outstanding. But the coach was asked that question today and he definitely wasn't giving too much away.
Really good question. You're going to have to wait and see.
But Walsh is demanding his Crows be bold and brave.
This is Formula One footy. If you want to drive safe, you're going to finish last.
He says he still rates Hawthorn as the team to beat.
I think they still are the best team, although I rate Fremantle and Sydney really highly. I still think Hawthorn offensively and defensively challenge her in ways that maybe that Sydney and Fremantle don't.
And while he won't talk about the significance of the match in his pre-match speech, he's mindful of the occasion.
We'll have a lot of our past players here. We'll have a lot of past officials here. And for most of our fans, because it's only been 25 years, they can all remember that first game. And it'd be great synergy if we were able to get over the line on Thursday night.
Alistair Clarkson returns to town for the first time since an ugly incident with an overzealous fan. But he couldn't leave Melbourne without someone else getting a little too close for comfort.
Could you please just move on? Is that all right?
You can attract them, Clarko.
Clarkson adamant he won't be taking any chances tomorrow night.
If I'm going to walk back from the hotel to the hotel, I might put a bicycle helmet on this time. But no, listen, we'll be taking the bus back this time, Rob. I think. Yeah.
Safety first. Treaders, just the one change for the Hawks. Puopolo comes back in for Litherland, and I know you're a big fan of Puopolo.
I'm a massive fan of the way he goes about it. He's their pressure forward, and we talk about Gunston and Rioli and Roughhead, but this guy allows them to be so offensive, and he's as important as Douglas is, so it should be a belter of a matchup.
Will be a ripper. Now, Sloane and Douglas have re-signed with the Crows this week. We know that. Unfortunately, things don't come in threes, though. Patrick Dangerfield's still the signature they're chasing, and he was asked on radio 5AA this morning about his contract situation and the thoughts for next season.
I love playing here, I love the environment, but I haven't made a decision and I don't think I need to at this stage of the season, so it's as simple as that.
Does that worry you, Treaders?
Well, I think he's playing political, he's playing smart. You know, he wants to make a decision at the end of the year. I still think, deep down, that it could be more out than in.
Seems that way, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know, we all wait in anticipation, really.
Now, I'm going to be back tomorrow night to annoy you again because we've got the Port teams.
Absolutely.
Sorry about that, mate.
Let's do it again. And moving on to my footy tips, I reckon the Hawks will get the job done against the Crows. Port Adelaide, well, you don't know how you're going to take them against the Blues. They should get the job done there. And I think North Melbourne will get the job done against the Greater Western Sydney because a guy called Shane Mumford is out for the rest of the season.